Greetings. This is Wretched from Grave Robber. You are listening to Breakdowns for Breakfast.
Good morning. Welcome to another episode of Breakdowns for Breakfast. I am your host, Danger, and joining me is a fellow that cannot properly break down an album without your co-host, Monster. Say hi, Monster.
Hello. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Well, peek behind the curtain. This is the first time we've done this in a couple weeks.
Yeah. Monster, summertime for dads get busy. Parenting.
Oh, yeah.
Or taking your kids to the beach, just parenting with sand. That's all it is.
Yeah, it's getting mad and frustrated trying to find chicken fingers on the menu in a different location.
Yeah. And actually, it's funny you mentioned chicken fingers because on the way to the beach, we passed a bunch of chickens, and I asked the girls if they saw any chickens with fingers. Yeah, good old dad joke.
I love it when we're going down the highway and we see the trucks. They're just full of the chickens.
Yeah.
It's always like, hey, look, I wonder where they're going.
But it's always like chickens that are like smashed into little boxes. And so I call them chicken boxes.
Yeah, but my wife's always like, she feels bad for the ones on the outside.
Yeah.
They're getting all the wind.
Yeah. And the ones in the middle are just, well insulated. So anyway, so we did go to the beach, and I was a little perplexed because like at the beach, it was 85, 90. I think it got up to like triple digits one day. Like we were there for a week, which a week vacation at the beach is almost gluttonous, but we were there. But I was perplexed because Mrs. Danger is always cold. She's just always cold. And she was even cold at the beach in triple digits. And I looked at her at one point and said, are you a lizard? Are you cold-blooded?
She might be.
Yeah.
And what could possibly fix something like that?
Oh, what could fix it is listening to the album that we're here to talk about today, which is an album by the band Young Medicine and their album Cold Blooded that was released April 5th, 2024. Now, Monster, as I was listening to this, like I heard this a while before we decided to, actually record an episode on it. And all of the bullshit that you have talked about, metalcore and the symphonic production, blah, blah, I was like, This one is going to be different from that. Thoughts?
It is different than that.
Yeah,
to a degree. But I gotta be honest with you. I thought this was going to be a lot more fun than it is, because when I saw, doing a little research into these guys, I saw what they looked like. I saw that they sometimes call themselves a synthwave metalcore boy band, and some of the song titles, I was like, okay, this is going to be fun. And then it's not. It's beepy boopy sad boy stuff. And it's
I still think it's fun. I still think it's a good time.
I think some of it is. I think there's a couple of fun songs, and I unfortunately think the track listing is a little uneven and a little bit deceiving, because I think the first couple songs are fun. And then I think we go through a really slog period near the end of the album that just kind of, it made it, we talk about the beginning and the end of albums, when we have to listen to them multiple times. This is like, I like the last song, but the 4 or 5 songs before that last song, it's like, shoo. I remember at one point I was looking at the track listing while doing some work, and I was like, the next song came and I was like, okay, well, this is probably about over. And I was like, there's 3 more songs? Good Lord.
So I will agree the beginning is great. I genuinely love the beginning. I genuinely enjoy the end of the song, the end of the album. I love that last track. I'm with you there. But I am going to 100% agree that the middle is a valley within this album. I was not a big fan of the middle, but it was always a passable okay. Like even the songs that are bad aren't that bad. I think the thing that for me is that listening to this album several times, I never like those ones in the middle was like, how when you're listening to an album, you can kind of think about what the next song's going to sound like what the beginning is. I couldn't tell you any of those in the middle.
Right. And that's the thing, is they all start to kind of bleed together, because there's actually a couple parts, and I wrote some of it down and some of it I just, kind of, it washed over me. But there's sometimes where they like almost repeat lyrics from previous songs.
Mhm.
And a lot of the songs have like the same subject matter, and most of it is like pretty down in the dumps, depressing stuff. So it's one of those things where, like, okay, the best band that I could compare this to was Electric Callboy. And oftentimes I thought of this as almost like Electric Callboy without the fun.
Yeah, so Electric Callboy is a lot more party than Young Medicine.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to say that I hated this album, because I actually really enjoyed this album.
Oh, I didn't hate it.
I can tell you that it wore on me. I stopped enjoying this album as much as I did the first couple times, but I still genuinely enjoy this album. When I sat down to take notes to actually give the score, I actually didn't listen to this for a couple days.
Mm-hmm.
And then coming back to it, it was a kind of a refreshed sort of thing, which is cool. But I don't think I felt the Electric Callboy in it outside of just the electric portion of the band and the sound that they have.
Yeah, so it's kind of like this combination of the dancey electronic synthwave stuff with the like nasally pop punk vocals, and like I said, some of the silly song titles. Like, I was expecting it to be a little bit more party vibe, and not that it needs to be like super silly, like, because I think most people know Electric Callboy from the singles, and they don't usually, haven't heard a lot other stuff. Some of their stuff can get a little bit deeper. It's not all joke songs, but I wasn't expecting this to necessarily be that. I just thought it was going to be a little bit more lighthearted. Like, this feels like, especially lyrically, content wise, feels very like I said, sad boy emo kind of stuff.
Yeah, so it's funny that you keep talking about the emo portion of it, because I saw Metal Injection actually called this Warped Tour meets synthwave.
I don't know, like, yes, to a degree, and I guess synthwave in of itself is sort of a dark sounding genre.
Yeah, it is. It's more of the dark 80s sort of thing, which I like synthwave. Synthwave actually helps me focus. I actually put synthwave on my headphones when I'm trying to do work and stuff. And yeah,
I have a buddy that plays some of those like nerdcore festivals that I've played a few times, called Watch Out for Snakes. And he does sort of like dark synthwave, but with sort of like an 8-bit chiptune feel to it. Yep. It's really cool stuff. If you like sort of the electronic aspect of this band, but you'd like to hear it ran through a Nintendo, check out Watch Out for Snakes. He's a really cool dude.
I think I checked them out before when you brought them up on a previous episode, and because I'm just curious.
He's my buddy.
Yeah, it's hard to know if it was when you brought it up on an episode or you just brought it up in conversation with us. Which way? So, yeah.
We shockingly, for as much as we do this, we actually still have other conversations about music outside of this.
We do. We actually have other conversations about music and life outside of this, and
we try to keep that boring shit to a minimum.
Yeah, we don't talk about all that stuff here. So let's quit talking about that boring shit. And talk about this. So, okay. Do you know where these guys are from?
No.
Okay, they are from Kansas City, Missouri. And so when I realized that, it kind of made me realize that they kind of have more of that Midwest sound within the heavy parts of their stuff. Instead of, how there's the New England sound, there's the, the West Coast sound. Yeah. So I feel like this is Warped Tour meets Missouri synthwave. I
believe we call that potato core.
No, potato core is Idaho, which is
that's like specific to just Idaho. I thought it was Midwest.
I don't know if you realize this, but Missouri and Idaho are not really close to each other.
I don't know. I've never seen a map.
Yeah, I can tell. Have you ever seen a calculator? So yeah,
what does that have to do with anything?
I'm just saying. If you've seen a map, you've seen a calculator. But anyway,
I can be bad at two things.
You can. You can and are. Yeah, I am proud of how bad you are at things. So, okay. I want to talk about the guys in the band real quick. So on keyboard and vocals, and obviously there's two vocalists within this band. You do hear
Yes.
both of them, and I do prefer one over the other, but
I do too, and let's see if it's the same guy.
so you got Brett Lieber on keyboards and vocals, and then Josh Hurst on guitar and vocals, and then Michael McAvoy, I think is how you pronounce it, on drums. Now, I couldn't tell you which one's Brett, which one's Josh, but I do think that the two vocals are very different, and I think that they both have a place in different places, but I do think that, sometimes one of them can sound kind of flat and droning and whatnot, but whatever.
There's one vocalist who I couldn't put my finger on it, and tell me if you think I'm off here. The closest thing I could equate him to is kind of like Dexter Holland from The Offspring. It's not a one for one, but it's closer than the other guy is to Dexter Holland, but there's just like one voice to me that feels sort of, I don't want to say generic, but kind of sounds about right. And then there's one guy whose voice just has an odd tenor to it. And it's a little bit almost more nasally, but it's bigger and it has sort of like this vibrato about it that I'm not trying to pick on the guys, but it, again, like his tone of voice, and I do like it, it almost added to the fact that I thought it should be sillier. Like he has kind of a bit of a silliness to his voice, and then the songs are about doing drugs because he's so anxious he can't sleep at night. It's like, well, shit.
Yeah, I didn't pick up Dexter Holland in any of it.
Okay, all right.
Cool. Yeah, no, that's you. I do think that I don't know which one is which, and forgive me, Brett and Josh, if you hear this, but I like the scream singing that one of you has, and then the other, like the higher pitch, I think is kind of like the singing voice that I like more.
I think we're on the same page. I think we both like the same guy.
All right.
I mean, both of them are good. It's just one guy I think is a little bit more unique sounding.
Yeah, that's fair. And Brett and Josh were in a metalcore band called Bella Muerte, I believe. And then I just have that they formed Young Medicine in 2014, and it was to blend the pop rock and synthwave elements all together, which is kind of what we got here. I feel like this was a little bit more of a developed sound for them based off of, going from 2014 to 2024. And so we did get more of the metalcore synthwave.
When was that kind of thing happening, like Attack and some of those bands? That was a little earlier than 2014, right?
Yeah, I think so. Hang on a second. I'll look up when Attack Attack's albums came out, we've covered two members of Attack Attack.
Oh yeah. They've become great. The sum of their parts have become greater than the original band, I feel like.
I would absolutely agree with you, because Bill Murray and Beartooth are much bigger than Attack Attack ever was. But Attack Attack has had more lineup changes than...
Oh, yeah, sure.
So, okay, Attack Attack was doing their first album. Hang on, I'll get to it. All right, first album came out in 2008. And then second album was 2010.
Okay, so it really wasn't that far removed.
No, it really wasn't. And then 2012 was their third album. So it's like I feel like it was around, like it was the sound that was kind of influencing things.
I was just getting ready to say, I know there was dozens of bands that were doing that, and for some reason Attack Attack's the only one that's coming to mind. But yeah, that whole like synthy techno mixed with the metalcore riffs, it's probably due for a little bit of a resurgence, I guess.
Well, I feel like we're actually getting a resurgence because Attack Attack has put out a couple albums in the last couple of years, and then bands like this, Attack Attack's 2021 and then 2025. So, there is a bit of a resurgence. And I could tell you that Attack Attack was at Blue Ridge, and actually the band before them was Project 86. And so I was like, I'm going to watch Project 86. And there was like 5 people at the stage. And then by the time Attack Attack came on, the entire area was completely full. And the stage was not big enough for the crowd that was there. They definitely should have been on a bigger stage.
We got to stop bringing up Project 86. That is like the 24th episode in a row that they have come up.
It's like the third.
And then you also sent me the clip of A Day to Remember with like the EDM dubstep DJ. It's like that's kind of the natural progression of this kind of thing. I would think, you know.
Well, I think we're seeing where a lot of these heavier bands, and I say heavier, I put heavier in quotations just because A Day to Remember stuff isn't always heavy and all, but we are seeing a lot more of those bands almost being accepted into the mainstream of things by way of EDM, because it's like you got the DJs and stuff mixing them into things, and you've got weddings where DJs are mixing in Attack and Day to Remember and stuff like that,
right.
and cool. But okay, so in 2018 was when Young Medicine really broke out. Do you know what they broke out with?
If I had to guess, it was probably a cover.
It was a cover. It was a cover of NSYNC's "Tearing Up My Heart."
That checks out.
Yeah. And it's really funny because, and I think we've talked about this before, that, in the early 2000s, or, late 90s, early 2000s, when the boy bands were breaking, it was kind of like, we're not going to like them at all. But then you go to any metal show and that's what gets played between songs, and everybody, or between bands, everybody's dancing, everybody's having fun. It's just kind of funny to me when I go to see, actually I remember when I went to go see The Used, I remember just watching like all of these like late 30s, early 40s men just, singing Backstreet Boys at the top of their lungs and all.
Well, this cover band I've been playing with, we do a variety of stuff, but one song that I think we really nail and is a lot of fun is we do kind of like this sort of like new metal version of Everybody by the Backstreet Boys.
Yeah.
And it kind of rocks, man. It's funny watching people like, like some biker dude in the back being like, I don't want to like this, but damn, it kind of goes hard.
Yeah. It's like whenever I would hear a Nickelback song that kind of, hit, like, I liked, it was kind of like, I don't want to like this, but exactly. I do like this. Yeah. So not that I like Nickelback a whole lot.
It's okay. It's okay. Embrace it.
No.
Become one of the, what nickel heads? What are they called?
I don't like that. And I mean, okay. So if you like Nickelback's old stuff, are you a throwback?
No, absolutely not. You're something currency joke here. I don't know.
You're a $5 bill.
I'm bad at geography. I'm bad at mathematics. However, I did want to go ahead and introduce this into the show tonight. Because this band is called Young Medicine, I was doing a little bit of research, and not only are we going to have some fun discussing this band and this album, we're also going to learn a little bit, okay? Because I have a list here of some old-timey diseases that have been cured using Young Medicine. So, one of which is consumption, which I don't know if you've ever heard of consumption, but is actually, we now call it tuberculosis, but it is characterized by a wasting away of the body.
Yeah, so I have heard of consumption. I've heard of consumption for a while now, but I think the best use of consumption that I could think of was actually from my ex-wife. Every time she would, cough, she'd be like, I'm getting the consumption. And,
it makes me think of the movie Weapons. Have you seen that?
I feel like I have.
Where like the old, well, I don't want to spoil anything. It's not that old yet, but there's a character in there that is not exactly what she seems. And she shows up and they're like, where are this kid's parents? She's like, oh, they're really sick. And there's like, I hope it's nothing serious. He's like, oh, it's just a touch of consumption.
I would say that, if you have anything more than not having consumption, it's serious.
Anything more than a touch?
Yeah, I feel like, I don't think it's really appropriate to describe having sickness or having any sort of communicable disease of any kind as having a touch. Like, nobody has a touch of the AIDS. Nobody has a touch of the cancer.
All right.
I'm just saying, like, you don't say I've got a touch of the cold. It's... Anyway. Do you want to talk about this track listing here?
Sure. I would also like to just point out that I believe it's pronounced ague, A-G-U-E, is a term for fever and chills, usually associated with malaria.
Okay, so this is going to be a thing. Like we're
Mhm.
you're just gonna
Track one.
Did you look up a list of of old diseases?
Track one.
Track 1 UFO party. All right, so this one, track 1's a banger. I'm gonna say it. I think track 1's a damn banger. I mean, if X-Files could be a synthwave punk song, that's what we got.
I will put it to you this way. Track one is an asshole, because if this is what the album sounded like, I would be having a much better time. But there's like 2 more songs that sound like this. The rest of the album does not do this. This totally fits with what I was expecting. It's fast, it's upbeat, it is a little bit silly, and it's fun. It's a good time.
Yeah, it is.
I wish more of the album was like this.
What was hard about this, even when I was taking notes, is it's like I've got notes for it, but I was having a hard time taking notes because I was like, every time I listened to the song, I enjoyed it. I know I said before that I was having trouble listening to this album after so many times, but I always enjoy track 1. I actually enjoyed several songs off of this album, but I don't know, track 1 was always one that was just like, yeah, this is good. So kind of comes out the gate with energy, hits big, cool.
Waiting for that final day, I get the unmarked grace.
You definitely get the synthy sound up front, and then you get like synthy chugs within it, and I thought that was a lot of fun. But then at 25 seconds, it becomes a synth punk song.
Buried alive with my thoughts long ago. Suburban.
And it's like, where has this been my whole life? And I just was like, yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun. In fact, I don't really have a lot more to say until 150.
Well, okay. So I was going to say there's some stuff that happens at the very end of the song that will be addressed, but I like that.
Is that a
150. There's a real obvious nod to some famous music coming up, but
Oh, yes. Yeah.
But at 150, I don't know if being a musician, coming home from gigs a lot of times, also just hanging out with my dad sometimes really late at night, we would be in the car and we would listen to Coast AM. And 150, that second verse almost sounds like a dancey version of the music for that radio show.
Always a sucker for heart-wrenching hope, but somehow terrified that I'll die alone.
Which again, totally fits the motif of this song for sure.
Yeah, I mean, because this song is basically, it's almost like they just were like raised on Coast to Coast and the X-Files, and just also became a big fan of this music, or of like metalcore, but then wanted to incorporate some of this stuff, which is why they went and started Young Medicine. I'm cool with it. I have no problem. And I have the note that his vocals change at 150, and then the music takes on a late night radio show. And
Yep.
I guess
that's
I was
exactly what it
thinking,
sounds like. Yep.
I guess I was thinking Coast to Coast and not even realizing that I was, but
With
it's
good
a lot-
old
it's a lot
George
of fun.
Norrie.
But then at 238, it becomes a metalcore X-Files.
Yeah, so that's when they bring in the real blatant nod to the X-Files sounds and whatnot. And again, like there's some silliness to that, which I appreciate. Like I thought it was fun.
Yeah, and I thought it was kind of a strange thing that I was listening to this, and then the boy, 15-year-old boy, he has been watching nothing but X-Files lately. Like he's just binging X-Files, and so it was kind of like I didn't realize that he was until a couple days ago, and I was already like well into this album. It just was like, hey, so you're watching X-Files. I'm gonna try not to sit here and watch it with you, because I watched every bit of the X-Files when it first came on.
Yeah, I've watched so many movies from like the corner of my eye and half being able to hear it while I cook dinner and the kids watch movies.
Yeah. It's
Now-
like, did you see this movie? Kinda.
Yeah, like I'll never forget, this was a few years ago now. the girls went through a phase where they thought Tangled was great. And I had seen bits and pieces, and it always made me laugh and stuff. So one night after, this was when Alex was still a baby. So like this was probably 5-6 years ago. We're getting her ready for bed, and the wife was like, "Hey, do you want to watch this? We can actually like sit down and pay attention to it." I was like, "Sure." 30 minutes in, we're both asleep. Like it was just like, we can't watch movies at this stage.
No, yeah, I used to start a movie at like 9:30, and now
It's
it's
a
like
dangerous
start a movie
game.
at 9:30. Yeah, it's what's going to win first, the movie or me? Usually it's sleep.
So I'll go ahead and bring up one of my criticisms of this album as a whole. These types of songs need to be shorter. And this is one of those songs where I feel like I did not. Okay, so after it does the X-Files thing, it goes back into some stuff, and then it ends with the X-Files stuff again. I don't think we need another dose of X-Files. I think we could have cut this song 20, 30 seconds and just keep it moving.
This is not a super long album. It's only 48 minutes, and I think it's actually just under 48. But either way, I feel like, you know, with us doing this show, that I've just come to where I like a 3-minute song. And
Me
it's
too.
Like
Yeah.
if you're going closer to 5 minutes, you better have a damn good reason. And I didn't hate every bit of where they did it, but it's almost like every song could have just wrapped up at a certain place. I do have a couple notes about where those songs could have, but I don't feel like there was any song on here that deserved the length that it got.
Right. Yeah. Like none of these songs have like interesting parts or tone shifts or tempo changes. Like, I mean, there's a little bit here or there, but there's no like interesting, like wild shifts. And so it's like, I feel like
there's one. I will say for sure there's one.
Well, there's a couple places here or there where they do kind of go a little outside of the norm, but overall it's pretty standard song structures. And because these songs do have a ton of production, sometimes some screaming, like that kind of nasally vocal high register, it's kind of like it can wear your ears down after a while.
It can. I tried to listen to this whole thing through headphones, and I'm going to tell you, I got about, I don't know, maybe 3/4 of the way through. I think I got to like, I don't know, 6 or 7, and it was just a lot. It was too much.
And I will say it's not as bad as some of the albums that we listen to that are like more of the metalcore and less of the techno-y stuff, but they put in all the weird like frequency, you know what I mean? Like all the atmosphere.
Yeah, where every
stuff.
frequency has a sound.
Right. It's not as bad as some of those albums can be, but it's fatiguing in its own way.
Yeah, true. All right, let's talk about track 2. I'm going to hit rock bottom. You guys want anything? So I'm going to go back to what you said at the beginning with the track titles. We've talked before about how we're not a fan of the long track titles because, you know, it's really easy to go into like the emo Fall Out Boy, like the super long titles and all.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I'm sorry, that's a fun track title.
It is. It is a fun title.
And there's no more that are that long.
No, it's kind of an outlier. It's the only one that's like a sentence long.
It's got punctuation too.
It does. And this one is more upbeat as well. Like this one has a little bit, it's a little jaunty. I couldn't help but notice it's got some jaunt to it.
It's been a while since you've used that word, so I was waiting for you to come around with it again. I actually noticed it several weeks ago, and I was like, he hasn't used jaunty in a while. Maybe.
Well, you haven't given
jaunty
me
himself.
anything to jaunt to.
Well, jaunt away.
Yes.
I don't think it's supposed to be used like that, but either way.
As an adverb or whatever. Don't correct me, okay? I don't need to be bad at grammar as well.
You're bad at math, you're bad at geography, you're bad at grammar.
Hey, but did you know Pott's disease is a different form of tuberculosis that affects the spine?
I would expect Pott's disease to stop.
What?
Because if you rearrange the letters, STOPH.
So to me, I thought that this song reminded me, I said it sounds like if Ghost Muse and Spirit Box had a baby.
That's fair. I mean, okay. What I found is that live, they use a very special instrument. And I found that they really seem to like to use it on this one. And I could be completely wrong about this, but I do know that they like to use a guitar live.
Mm.
And I think that that's fun. And so
Oh, yeah.
if I can't think of any of the bands that you named that use a guitar, but if any of those, I feel like Ghost would probably be the most guitar-like.
Well, I don't know about Ghost using a guitar, and I guess it's maybe not a guitar, but I think Muse uses some weird stuff. Like, I don't know if it's the guitar player or the bass player, but he's got this instrument that's like the neck of a guitar, but then it's like a square pad.
So I know exactly what you're talking about. He used it when I saw him live, and it's basically an iPad, it looks like, with the neck of a guitar. And so he's actually using that to play bass on, kind of, but it's like,
okay.
I don't know. I was in the lawn of the amphitheater, and so I didn't really get a good look at him, but I don't know. If you ever get a chance to see Muse live, I don't care if you like Muse or not, go see them because they put on a hell of a show.
I think Muse is one of those bands that if I had started liking them a while ago, that would be fine, but I think I'm too late now. Because like every time I hear a Muse song, I'm like, it's not bad, but it's like, it's too late now. I can't do it.
No, you can. You can. It's up to you. You can do anything you want.
It's daunting.
You can get jaunty and you're daunting. Anyway, let's talk about the song. Damn it. Okay. I don't know. I was not expecting it was almost, okay. Yes. Track 1 was great. Track 2, it's almost like where we got the punk in the beginning, like in that track 1. It's like they did away with all of that. Cause I say punk because of the rhythm of it. Not the attitude of it all, but it's like they did away with all that and just went heavy here, but then heavy, like an 80s heavy, if you will.
I wrote in my notes, I like how aggressively 80s it sounds. It's like
aggressively 80s, yeah.
It's like Flashdance slowed down with metal guitars.
Actually, I put that I feel like this is supposed to be a metalcore Joy Division.
Okay, yeah. I was picking up a lot of Depeche Mode. One very specific song coming up, there's actually 2 that I just could not hear other songs, but we'll get there.
I think I know exactly what you're talking about, and I could not hear other songs either, but I couldn't figure out what song it was. And we will talk about
maybe
that.
okay,
Yeah.
maybe I can help you.
I'm hoping you can because I know I have the note. What song is it?
But yeah, this one's kind of fun because I know it like 202 area. There's kind of like this like metalcore breakdown kind of section.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of fun.
Which I wasn't expecting a metalcore breakdown of this because, yeah, it's a heavier song, but it's still like so much of that 80s sound within it that I wasn't expecting that.
Right.
So that was a fun little surprise the first time I heard it.
Now, and so then I think my favorite part of the song, though, is the outro. So there's like kind of like 2 sections to the outro. There's the part that starts around 3:35, which is sort of like this little guitar lick. But then around 3:40-ish, it keeps the same vibe, but it's like real heavy on the synth. I think it sounds really cool. It sounds almost like Knight Rider or something.
Yeah, but like if night was spelled with a K, so it was like night. Right.
I thought it was spelled that way. With the car,
it's just
right?
N-I-G-H-T.
Is it?
Yeah.
Knight Rider? No, Knight Rider. Yeah, the car with David Hasselhoff. Yeah, it's spelled with a K.
I always thought it was just an N, but okay. So I feel like this song should have come to a close around 3:28. So before the section you were just talking about, nothing after that is needed, but I like the sound that it gave me when it picks back up after that. Like because it does kind of take a dip and then it picks back up. And so I like everything that's there, but I just feel like it's not needed.
The song's too long.
Yeah. And I feel like they could have almost made another song out of that, and kind of the bits that come out of everything else here excuse me, let me start that whole statement back over. I feel like they could have made another song out of the bits of all the songs within this, and maybe, lifted up that middle section of the album that we were talking about that we're not the biggest fans of. But the biggest criticism I have out of this song, because I genuinely like this song as well, not as much as track 1, but I think the thing that worked against the vocals in the verses was how catchy the chorus was on this song. Because it's a damn catchy chorus. And then his vocals just feel flat in the verses.
There's this one little thing they do in the verses that I don't like, where they're singing and in the background there's the repeating of the I can do without all that. It's one of those things. We have so many things going on. We don't need like a weird vocal thing mixed in there too. Like you can let that go.
There are things within these songs that I kind of feel like somebody should have come along and said, you know what? We don't need that layer. We don't need that. Like there's enough else happening. But at the same time, I didn't hate any of the front part of this album at all.
No, those 3 songs.
No, there's 2. We haven't talked about track 3 yet.
I thought we did.
No. Okay, track 3, Ignorance Adrift. Is this where the I don't have that note, so
everything I just said about the last song I'm in about this one.
Okay. But it is kind of funny because you like the end of track 2. I have the same notes for it. So.
Okay, so funny enough, so let me go back and correct something. You said track 2 should have ended at 327
or 328 in that area.
328. Yeah. I 100% agree with you. It should have ended there. This song, track 3, Ignorance Adrift, is, okay, sorry. I got ahead of myself.
You did. Okay, so track 2 is 435. Track 3 is 354. So I feel like this one should have ended around, wait, no, we'll talk about the, okay. This one continues the aggressive nature that track 2 brought in. Whereas track 1 was more of like, we're going to get the party started and really show you what we're all about. Track 2 kind of introduced some aggression to things. Track 3 continues on that aggression, but I feel like it takes on more of the electronic metal feel of things. And it's almost like track 1 kind of, like I said, introduced us to it. Track 2 stepped it up. Track 3 stepped it up even more. Just kind of built on each other, and it was fun.
And so just to clarify my previous statements, track 2 is very jaunty, and it's the one that I said sounds like Spirit Box, Muse, and Ghost had a baby. That all checks out. This is the one where I said it sounds aggressively 80s, Flashdance mixed with metal guitars, and I don't like the A's in the verses.
Okay. I don't have anything about the A's because they didn't bother me at all, but I will say that the intro to the song is very like 80s cop movie.
Yes.
So I know what you mean about the, Flashdance thing but I feel more of just 80s cop movie within it. But, so then at 53 seconds, the vocals that we got there should have been the main vocals on this song. That's the vocals that I like.
That is, let me double check. Okay, perfect. No, I like the other guy.
Oh, okay.
Because the other guy to me is a little bit more unique sounding.
See, I feel like they both have a place within things. I just feel like the vocals we got at 53 seconds should have been the main vocals on this song.
That's fair.
But okay, 123. I like how the echoes or the vocals echo into like a synthwave sound. But then at 153, we got that dropout. And you know I'm a sucker for a dropout.
Well, and I kind of do like how that one drops out with the vocal harmony. I like that harmony. It's just after they hit it, then they do that thing over and over. And it's like, I don't like that.
So 203, the scream singing, you're not in for? Do you like that?
That's okay. I'm cool with that.
All right, but the music in the bridge, and I feel like we're just moving right on through track 3, but maybe it's because you thought we were talking about track 3 and I'm trying to catch up to you.
I've already told you what I think about this song.
All right, so 248, the music in the bridge. I'm going to steal your phrase. I want the music just put directly into my veins. I love the music in that section of the song in the bridge. Just fantastic.
I do like how it builds and builds and gets a little bit bigger. And then, like I was saying, for the last song, that whole last section that starts at around like 3:35 through to the end is, I think all that's a lot of fun.
I actually have the note on this one that it should have been at 3:19, but at the same time actually has one of my favorite endings.
Right. I agree. Like, I feel like something somewhere could have maybe been taken out a little bit, but
Right.
again, if you're right at 4 minutes, I'm kind of okay with it. It's
Yeah,
some of these other ones that are like 4:15, 4:20, 4:30 that are like, all right.
Yeah. No, I got you. I understand. I feel like, 3 to 4 minutes is the range that I like a song to be in. If you're pushing over that, you better have a damn good reason. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I tend to think songs closer to 3 minutes are better. And maybe that's because of growing up, songs were always about 3 minutes. And so I always had this like 3-minute marker in my head for how long an album should be, or, how long a song should be and whatnot. So I don't know if that's just in me and it's not in you, but either way. All right, let's talk about track 4, Winter Soldier.
This song make you think of anything?
So the track title makes me think Captain America, because Winter Soldier was Bucky Barnes, his sidekick, but not his sidekick when he was his Winter Soldier. That's a whole thing. Anyway, I really like this song. We're still like at a good thing. Like, I'm still really enjoying things.
This song is fine, but it was better when it was In the Air Tonight by Phil Collins.
I remember, don't worry. How could I ever forget?
So I'm kind of just like, that's all I can hear. Like, it just sounds exactly. And when he even says calling out, it's like, oh, dude, the lyrics are too close, buddy.
So
a case could be made here, buddy.
I can definitely tell what you're talking about in the beginning of the song, because at 134, that's where I really like the song. Like, I like the song because I know at 134 it's about to become awesome. Because I don't know, everything between 134, it's fine. I don't know. 49 second brings it down a bit. Part goes on a bit too long. It's fine. I don't know. I feel like they were having a little bit of trouble with pacing at this point, where it was like they had the song Winter Soldier and they liked it, but then they didn't really know where to put it. So I don't know if it should have fit here or they should have pushed it back in the album a little bit to kind of give us a bump within the valley of this album, but the song was fine up until 134, and then it was, hell yeah, I'm liking this.
I was liking it more, but I was just, I think because it was so long and it was giving me vibes of something completely different, that when it does finally kick in, I was hoping it was going to kick into something, I don't know, just something a little bit more than what we got.
I get that, but at the same time, I feel like 134 is the point in the song where the song becomes what it is. The song is 4 of 4, so it's not a stupid long song. I mean, we were just talking about, right around 4 minutes is fine. But, if they had just kind of shortened up all that front part, I feel like this could have been a lot better of a track, because, I don't know, this almost feels like, yes, I understand the Phil Collins thing 100%. But at the same time, I feel like this is kind of where it got a little bit darker and fine. But I don't know. Up to 134, it's okay. 134 kicks ass. Love the song from that point forward. But at 231, they bring it down again. I feel like at 134, they brought it up into their territory. And then at 231, they bring it back down into Phil Collins. And then I think that made 254 hit bigger.
And all that's fine. Again, it just feels kind of, even though there are some ups and downs, it just feels like, because of sort of the slower tempo, it feels draggy to me. I do really like the guitar solo that comes shortly thereafter, around like 318 or so. Yeah. I think that's a really cool, and I say guitar solo, but it could be a synth solo there.
I feel like it's a guitar.
Yeah, I think so too.
Maybe a guitar.
Yeah, there you go. Problem solved. It's dude from Muse's iPad. But I think that's the highlight of the song for me. Like, that's kind of like the one part of the song that I'm like, oh yeah, I do like this kind of fun guitar solo here.
It's a great solo. I love that guitar tone that he has there. But I will say that after that solo, when he comes back and starts singing again, I don't necessarily need that. But at the same time, it's like he has to finish the full chorus that he came back for. But I feel like if he had just ended it on the word line.
Are we falling out? You said I'm with you till the end of the line.
And not finish the chorus, but just kind of let the music sustain out. I feel like that would have been a great way to end the song.
You said I'm with you till the end of the line.
I know that it's sort of gone out of fashion, and you personally don't like a fade out, but because of the 80s nostalgia vibes of the song, it wouldn't have been awful to just fade it out, Yeah. Repeat the chorus a few times, but have it like fading out as you do. I think might have shortened it by a few seconds and kind of kept it moving.
Yeah, that's fine.
Also, one other thing. So this is pretty cool. Have you ever heard of Scrofula?
I feel like you didn't practice that one, but no, I haven't heard of Scrofula.
Scrofula, yeah, it's a tuberculosis of the neck. Now, what's cool about this one?
Neculosis.
Thank you. So the cool thing about this one, though, is its nickname was called King's Evil because, historically speaking, people believed it could be cured by the touch of a monarch.
Not a touch of the conception?
Now, I'm assuming they mean like monarch butterflies. Like if you were lucky enough to have a butterfly land on your neck, you're cured.
If only that could cure diseases for real. I feel like back in the day, they didn't know what was going to cure whatever. And like, what you're feeling ill, like you can't feel your foot anymore.
Yeah.
That's fine. Here, just rub some dirt on your forehead and spin around 3 times. I know you can't feel your foot. You can't spin, but just do it.
No, you are way off. If you have a broken ankle, everybody knows you do cocaine and put leeches on your back. Boom. Problem solved.
I forgot how many problems cocaine solved back in the day.
Still today.
Speaking of cocaine, let's talk about the 80s. Track 5, Hot Chocolate. So the first time I read this title, I did not think, even listening to this album, did not think of the 80s. I thought of, I had it right as I started the sentence. What's that movie with Tom Hanks where the animated movie?
Oh yeah, Polar Express.
Polar Express. Yeah, they're like, hot chocolate.
Hey, we got it! Hey, we got it!
Dude,
last year at Christmas time, we took the family and did the Polar Express thing.
Yeah.
It was kind of cool. Like you actually ride a train and you go to the North Pole and yeah, everybody got free hot chocolate on the train. It was fun.
Is there a part where there's no tracks and the train is just skidding on ice?
You have to pay extra for that.
You have to pay extra for OSHA violations.
Yes, exactly. We could barely afford the hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate was free and I couldn't get there. I couldn't make it happen. All right.
But you know what's sad though is we did that with the family. I've never seen the movie.
It's okay. I think the coolest thing about the movie is that Tom Hanks plays like 40 characters within
All the
it,
people, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, Tom Hanks is, I don't know, just a little talented at acting, and he can do that kind of thing.
So as far as this song goes,
yeah,
the first vocal that you hear is the singer that I prefer.
Eternal night, but we don't need sleep.
Okay.
But he comes in so hot and so hee ha hee ha hee ha hee ha. I bust out laughing the first time I heard this song. I
don't think I ever got hee ha.
Okay, no, it's just you kinda nah hee. Like it's so like up in his nose. Yeah, clearly I can't. I'm a terrible singer. We all know this.
It's been on record multiple occasions.
I was like, again, I like his voice better, but the way he comes in, eternal night. That's what he says. Okay. It's silly. It's very silly. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, he sounds silly. The music is like dancey, techno-y, and these lyrics are not fun. This is not a fun song. There's nothing happy happening here.
No, lyrically, this is not a fun song. I didn't take down the lyrics, but I remember reading the lyrics going, no. Okay, so do you know why this song is dancey? Because at 52 seconds, it's basically like a rocked up version of Night at Roxbury.
Baby, don't hurt me no more.
You can 1000% do the head nod to this song. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this one was still fun. I still had a lot of fun with this one. Actually, this is where the album starts kind of taking a dip for me. Like, I still enjoy this one, not as much as those first four, but I don't know. 121, we got another quick heavy part, but it just kind of returns back to dancing, and that's fine.
There's no denying you're in it.
But I feel like this one it's 427, and they probably could have cut out about a minute and a half because the middle just kind of drags. After that 121, the heavy part, it kind of drags until 213. And then the vocals of that part are great.
Are you really going non-stop till you got it? Now you got it just to lose it on top.
There's a lot of these parts in this song where it just sort of like gets quiet and it's just like the beat and some like synthy stuff and it builds back in. And it's like, yeah, like do that once, maybe twice, but it feels like it happens a lot. And you're right. Like the middle just feels like there's a lull that, yeah, this could have very easily been a 3.5 minute song and I would have been way more into it.
Yeah, no, it drags for sure. 227 is way too long for this. But I will say that the bridge, I started to like I really enjoyed the bridge up until we got a distorted and a clean vocal, because I was really enjoying the distorted vocal for all of 10 seconds before the clean comes in.
Are you searching for another pretty face?
I really feel like both vocals should have been distorted there. I feel like that would have made that sound so much better.
These two dudes is very interesting because I feel like when you hear just one of them and then you hear the other, it's very clear that it's two different people. But when they sing together, it's almost hard to like differentiate who is doing what part.
Yeah, that's fair. I think it's because they, on their own, they have their own sound, but they tried to match each other when they sing at the same time.
Which is cool. I mean, some of my favorite bands have two singers, and I think these guys are pretty good. Like I said, I know I'm kind of picking on the dude, but like I really like his voice. But the way he comes in at the beginning of this song is just so, I don't know. It just sounds kind of silly to me.
When I edit this episode, will be the next time I listen to this album, I'm going to have to put in a clip of him coming in singing. And I never put it together, but I probably will when I do.
Yeah, and I'm, if I take a first pass at the edit of this, I'm probably going to cut out some of my singing. I might leave some of it, but not all of it.
All right, so 427 for this. We've already said that it's too long for this one because it does drag in the middle for short. But what I will say is I don't think it should, we should trim any more time off of it because, we just said that 4 minutes is a acceptable length of time. I would rather get out around 3, but going to 4 is fine. But I feel like cutting the vocals at 4 would have been the best move here, and then let it end heavy, not have the vocals continue on. Because I think one of the things that gets missed in bands so often is it's a band, it's a music band. It's not just a vocal, backup section. In the case of bands, not like a Mariah Carey or Kelly Clarkson or whoever.
Well, I will give these guys credit. I don't remember a part of this album sticking out to me where we often have that moment where it's like, come on, guys, shut up so the guy can play his solo. Stop singing. That doesn't really happen. In fact, to your point, some of those lulls might have been less lully had there been vocal on top of it, and then just kind of shave off some of that stuff at the end.
Lully. Okay.
I said lully.
You did. I'm going to use lully because I don't like it, but I don't love it. I don't hate it.
I will say I don't like saying it. It's doesn't
as much
feel
as I
good.
have doesn't feel good.
No, it does not feel good in the mouth. You know what else does not feel good in the mouth?
Another disease?
Lockjaw, which is actually, I guess I knew this, but like it's connected with tetanus, and I didn't know this, but it's actually, it's a bacterial infection that could be fatal if you don't treat it.
Yeah. But the chances of lockjaw becoming fatal are, I think, like 1,000 to 1.
Well, I mean, now, thanks to all this young medicine we have.
Okay. You did it. You said it.
Look, I am trying to psych myself up and be in a good mood because for the next 5 songs in a row, I am not having a good time anymore.
Okay, I will not say for the next 5 songs, but this is where it definitely takes a dip. I actually was just looking at my notes, and I'm going to go ahead and say that the next 4 songs are not good for me. All right, so track 6, Cold Blooded.
Being wet with spite. Hide away. Far away again.
The title track, Cold Blooded. I feel like you should have put some more effort into your title track song because it should have been better than this. But I'm sure somebody out there likes it. Did you read lyrics to this?
I skimmed through them a little bit.
Yeah, nothing stuck out to me about the lyrics, besides it's just kind of a story about the afterlife and haunting. And when I found the note, somebody said that this song was inspired by The Haunting of Bly Manor. I thought, oh, I didn't like that show either.
Interesting. I didn't know that, and I did watch the show. I read The Haunting of Hill House, but I never watched that show either.
The show is fantastic.
Good book.
Netflix
It's a good book.
Yeah, which actually, the movie The Haunting with Catherine Zeta-Jones, and that was based off of that.
Yep.
I didn't know that. And then after watching the show, my thought was, how did you ever get that story out of this? Because, no, the show is fantastic.
It's wild to me that they made like a 10-hour like miniseries like thing on that book, because it is a short book. There's not a whole lot of like really like crazy stuff that happens. It's just very gothic and ghostly, and it's very atmospheric. It's a very cool book. Like, you definitely like builds tension, but it doesn't have any. I've seen The Haunting. It is out of control. Like, it's
that.
I don't
love that
remember
movie
it
when I
very
first
well,
saw it, but that was before I started really watching a lot of movies, and I was like, that is not a good movie. And now I
Right.
enjoy it because it's a bad movie. But
it was
it's like
part
a
of
movie
that, like,
with 100% on Rotten Tomatoes has just as much appeal as a movie that gets 5%.
yeah, it's one of those movies too. There was kind of this boom in the like late 90s, early 2000s of PG-13 horror movies.
Yeah.
And because I was still in high school, I could like go see them, and they were easier. Like, I mean, I was already watching stuff like Dawn of the Dead, but it doesn't matter.
Anyway.
This song takes a full minute to do anything.
Stuck in the gravity. Pull me out, don't
Yep.
Which is not my cup of tea.
Nope. Okay, so I have that intro is fine, but I don't want to hear it again, especially since I've waited until a minute for something to happen.
tucked away, far away again.
But then I have to wait another 31 seconds for the song to really kick in. And at this point, I'm just kind of annoyed because I didn't want to have to wait this long to have something happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't really like the song until around 2:16.
Stuck in the gravity.
It's a fine song, but the distortion really takes the front of the mix at 2:16.
Yeah.
It's got some fun guitar work. It's got a fun solo at 3:15.
Yes, I was going to say 3:15 is my favorite part. For sure.
Yeah. I don't know. This is probably I have exceptions to this statement I'm about to make. This is probably one of my least favorite songs off the album. This is
Same.
where, like, it just took a steep drop for me. Track 7 at the end of everything.
He's held me back at the end of everything. Hold on to me. From victim to villain, it's a
I didn't feel like we had
constant.
anything left to say.
No, we didn't. And actually, I will say that this is my one exception to this section, only because it reminds me not necessarily of a specific song, but it was giving me big Tears for Fears vibes.
Okay.
Because this one to me feels very much 80s synth new wave kind of vibe. Very little actual like guitar, and like, like a lot of these songs are sort of like a mix of metalcore and synthwave and 80s and rock. This is just like an 80s song. You know what I mean?
It is. It is very much an 80s song. In fact, it has a almost like dreamy 80s feel to it. And I don't know. This song sounds like it could fit right into like 80s rock stations. Like, I know,
Right.
88.5 is the 80s channel, or after like a certain hour, it becomes all 80s. And this song would fit right into that, especially the section at 3:12.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's exactly what I have too.
And the thing is that I actually thought this was a cool song. I didn't hate any of this until 3:12 happened. I was like, nope, you are copying another song. And this is where I had the note of, what song is this? I could not figure it out. I played it for
Oh.
Miss Danger. She couldn't, she was like, this sounds very familiar. I feel like I've heard this before. I feel like the only thing that we really came up with, because we were going through songs, we were listening to this on the way to the beach. Because I was like, I want you to tell me what this is, because I cannot put my finger on it. I don't know
Yeah.
why we keep trying to put her finger on things, but because you keep saying you're putting your finger on stuff. Yeah. Anyway, she couldn't come up with it either. The best we could do is maybe The Police. Everything she does is magic, but I know that's not.
Yeah. 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 Now that you say it, I can hear it. I don't.
Yeah. And I'm going
I
to go
don't
ahead and
know
tell
who
you,
it is either.
I was good with this song. I actually was looking at my notes, and I actually had this song rated fairly high because it was just like, oh, this is cool. And then 3:12 happened. I was like, nope, you are copying somebody else. I'm taking all of your points away.
Well, you didn't
And I
have
think-
a problem when they ripped off Phil Collins.
but it wasn't so blatant.
Oh, I
Like
think it's
here-
more blatant. Well, I knew exactly who they were ripping off there. We can't figure this one out.
Here, it's like they don't try to hide it, except for maybe it's like a B-side of some band, and it's like that's just I don't know. As soon as I heard that, I was like, nope,
Yeah.
I don't like this anymore.
Yeah, I kind of get what you're saying, though. I don't know. I like that one at least because so many of these songs start to run together for me. But this one at least feels different because it never really gets quote unquote rock. You know what I mean? It just stays in that 80s feel. But again, so the lyrics on this one, though, are so like, he's saying the thing about downing pills just to sleep.
Every day feels perfect. Every night I'm downing pills just to sleep.
Tell me I'm not special. It's like,
You're not
ooh,
special.
Geez. Okay, buddy. Take it easy.
I mean, I've had to take stuff to go to sleep too, but it was more of just kind of frustrating at that point because I wasn't able to go to sleep yet.
And don't worry, you are very special. Don't worry.
Oh, thanks.
It's just one of those things that because the music sounds like it could be in like St. Elmo's Fire, and then he's talking about how miserable his life is. It's like, come on, buddy, you're like in like a Ferris Bueller's Day Off, like 80s comedy, like teen comedy movie. Oh, I guess you're not. Sorry.
No. St. Elmo's Fire and Ferris Bueller are just two very opposite ends of the 80s movies for me.
Yeah,
Like
but
St.
they're like,
Elmo's Fire is more of like early 20s drama, like, relationship drama kind of stuff. And I
yeah,
feel
but
like,
they're all
I feel like St. Elmo's Fire was basically them going, hey, you know what? This soap opera thing has gained a lot of traction. Let's make a movie.
Yeah, but they're all by that same dude. What was his name?
If
Let's
you
see.
hadn't brought it.
Joel Schumacher.
No, it's not Joel Schumacher.
Well, he directed St. Elmo's Fire. Who
Yeah,
did?
I know he did. But that's how I know it's not. Oh God, what is his name? Because it's going to bother me.
Hold
He
on.
had so many 80s movies.
Yeah.
wrote,
John Hughes. That's it.
John Hughes. Yeah,
I thought he
in
wrote.
my head. I was thinking John Holmes, and I was like, that's not right at all.
That's a whole different genre.
It is.
No, I thought
He also made movies in the 80s.
The Breakfast Club. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I said St. Elmo's Fire. I meant Breakfast Club.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yes, that's what I was shooting for. My bad.
John Hughes is great. I actually really enjoy a lot of John Hughes movies, and people don't know how much that John Hughes wrote and didn't actually direct. And
True. True.
yeah, like Home Alone, National Lampoon's, like all of the best ones. And yeah,
Mhm.
or at least he wrote the story that they were based off of. Things. Anyway, yeah, this song at the end of everything, I was actually really digging it up until 3:12, and then I went, nope, not gonna like it anymore.
Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind that little section. I think another thing is the song is fairly short. Not
3:48.
it's not short, but it's short compared to some of the other songs it's around.
Yep. All right, so let's talk about track 8, Parasocial, featuring Essinger.
Yeah, my friends all tell me that I need to get home. Digital make believe, repeating every word you sung about classical tragedies.
And now we go to the Dance Club of Death.
I wrote if Mick Gordon did the intro music for Stranger Things.
That's completely fair. I understand. So here's the thing is I didn't hate this song. There's parts of this song that I like, but I do not like the song in full. I dig the distorted vocals at 19 seconds.
Here's the thing about bands like this and songs like this. When you are so reliant on like the digital drums, you rarely speed up or slow down. A lot of times, like sort of like in hip hop, where you have a steady beat that stays the same from start to finish. So this is one very similar to one of the songs we talked about earlier. I don't remember which one it was now, where it's like, yes, there's highs. Yes, there's lows. There's chuggy guitars. There's empty spots. But it just drags because it never picks up the pace. It never goes double time. It never like goes anywhere. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it maintains.
Yes.
And that's my issue because, or I don't want to say my main issue, but that was a big issue that I had with the song was it's like once we got up to a level, it just kind of stayed there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I do think that the song actually kind of stays there up until 150, and then there's a great drum fill. And I feel like the song gets better at that point.
The same. Make me your enemy, put me on every blacklist.
But it kind of still feels the same, if that makes any sense.
I don't like the vocals that come in after that. That's when it starts to like...
You don't like where it gets a little screamy at 251?
I come undone, it's where you pull cuts deep, and now I can't.
Okay, so that part I actually do kind of like
Okay.
because I feel like the vocals match what the music is trying to do. I stand by my previous statement. It's Mick Gordon meets Stranger Things. So I don't hate it. I tell you what sounds really, really good is during all of that chuggy kind of scream vocal thing.
Mm-hmm.
At 3:05, there's this harmony where they sing something about you can call me again or we can do it again or something like that.
Baby, 'cause I'll do it again. You can call me when you want, maybe more than just friends.
That sounds really cool. That harmony, especially in the midst of all that like distorted chaos, sounds really sweet.
Yep. And so, all right. I said I like the distorted vocals at 19 seconds. And then the song just kind of maintains and is fine up until 150. And then we get that great drum fill. And I feel like the song gets better there. But, you know, it's like how toast is better than bread because it's just cooked bread. You know, it's still the same thing, but
Right.
it's just got a different texture to it. Fine. And then I know what you're talking about because I also have the note. I don't have a timestamp on it, but I have the note of I also like the harmonies that happen.
Mm-hmm.
But here's my problem with it. Do you have the length on this song?
Yeah,
I
so
didn't take note of that.
okay, so after that heavy breakdown section, they sort of do like the chorus, like real brought down. Maybe do some of that, but then don't bring it back up and do another chorus because this song goes on for 4 minutes and 28 seconds. This could have very easily come in under 4 minutes. Very easily.
Yeah. So I have that it had two places where it could have stopped. I have where it gets screamy at 251. It could have started coming to a close after that. And that would have been a good length of the song. Like we would have, if you started to kind of bring it down and actually have it close out around like 3:30, would have been fine.
Yep.
At 3:45 would have actually been another place for it to end. And I would have been okay with it. I actually would have enjoyed this more. But instead we go to 3:20 or 4:28 and I'm kind of like, we're burnt out on the song at a certain point.
Mm-hmm.
But I have that 3:45 actually would have been a good place for the song to end on his vocals saying the same because we don't need another chorus.
Yep.
Because another chorus is the same as what we've already heard. I don't know. Parasocial could have been a much better song if it was shorter because just like we've talked about with other albums and, you know, I think I talked about it on the Hippos where it's like, it's fun, but that's an energy that doesn't sustain for that long or for the length of those songs. And I kind of feel the same way here.
Yeah, it's. I remember thinking the way this one starts is kind of fun. It just doesn't go anywhere. It does all these ups and downs, but it never actually changes, and it just goes on for far too long. And even though there's one or two sections that are kind of fun, it's a slog to get through.
Yep, it sure is. All right, so let's talk about track 9, Chrysalis.
There's nothing left to do. There's no way to go with this. I'm hoping I don't explode. This can't be happening. I don't think.
Just continue the slog.
Yeah, so I mentioned before that it was one of my least, I think it was, track 7? Well, no, sorry, it was, track 6 was one of my least favorite
Cold-blooded.
songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then track 7, I was cool with it up until that 320 where they didn't try to hide it all and just, it take the score for me. Track 9 is another one where I was just having a lot of trouble in a lot of ways.
Dude, I've probably listened to this song 3 times before I took notes because it was like I can't focus on any of this. Like, it just sounds like more of the same. And I kind of like some of the drums because they're trying to mix it up, but it was like, every time I try to listen to this song, I'm like, what is there to say? It just floats by in one ear and out the other.
Yeah, and what sucks is that, you know, I said that the beginning and the end of this album are just, I think, bangers of songs. Just, I think it's a phenomenal album. In fact, I feel like this would have been a great album. I feel like this is a great EP. You know, I don't hate the stuff in the middle, but like I said, it's just really hard to remember. Like right now, I'm having trouble remembering what this song sounds like. But I can tell you, I put down this sounds like an 80s pop song that went djenty.
If it would have went like more djenty, I think I might have been able to get behind it. There's a section that starts around 2:53 where like some guitar gets pushed to the front. I guess we'll call it a solo. That's like the only part that kind of stood out to me. And even it's not enough to make me want to listen to this song. There's a section in the next song that I think is like almost worth sitting through the song to get to. This is not that.
See, I feel like we're getting in this slog section. Like the last parts of these songs are actually good songs, but it's like you have to wait so long to get to them. It just
yes and no, because this song could have ended around 3:19 and it drags on till 3:52.
Okay, before we get to the end of the song,
Okay.
there is a part in the song that I just thought was funny. So at 2:28, it has a fake out because it's like the song just kind of like comes down to like this like ethereal thing for like 3 seconds and then comes back up.
Stay with me tonight.
Yeah.
And it's
yeah.
like just when you think it's about to end it, like, or go into another ethereal section of things as they've done several times on the album so far. Nope, we're not.
Mhm.
We're gonna bring it back up. And the thing is that I like the drums in this song. I think it has a catchy chorus, but I don't really like it until that 2:28. But then I just don't really want it to be there anymore because I've waited this long to get there.
Yeah, like I feel like there's an attempt being made to mix it up a little bit, but it doesn't stick the landing.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, let's talk about track 10. Hold On to Anything.
Always held me back. From the end of everything. Hold on to me. From victim to villain.
I feel like we just moved right through those songs, which is fine.
There's not a whole lot to say about them. I mean, no offense. Like, we had a lot to say about the first handful of songs. We were having a really good time, and then just kind of takes a dip. And this is one that I kind of struggle with.
Tell me why.
Okay, so the intro, we're kind of picking it up a little bit again. Which I appreciate, but at 28 seconds, he sings the line that I'm nothing special.
Changed the show and we all knew that I'm nothing special.
Which, okay, you just got done saying, tell me I'm not special 3 songs ago. So you're like kind of repeating the same like lyrical content. I'm like, all right, that's fine. So I'm kind of like not really feeling this. But then there's this like vocal thing that it does at like 37 seconds where he's like, emotion like glass. And he like really belts it out.
Emotions like glass.
I think the vocals there sound awesome. And I really, really like that. And then I don't really like much else until much later in the song.
So I had a hard time with this one because there were things happening throughout the song that I liked, but then when there were things happening that I liked, there were other things happening that I don't like. And I know what you're talking about with the lyrics because it's like there were these, it's almost like this song is a blending of the best parts of the last slog that we got. And I had a hard time with that because while I really appreciate that this song introduces a saxophone, and it's a saxophone, not a synthophone.
With me.
The gentleman's name is Evan Keppelman.
What's his name?
His name is Evan Keppelman. Kappelman. Keppelman? Yeah. Okay.
I do like how they do this cool thing where he's sort of like, you hear the horn line played at the beginning of the song.
Yep.
Either guitar or synth, I'm not sure. And then you hear him come in and do it. And it's like, yeah, I really like the saxophone part. It's like 221. So there's a section in like the 30 to 40 second range that I like. And now I like this solo, the sax solo at 221. But everything in between it just sort of gets like lost for me.
So the sax solo at 221 that you're talking about is the same as that guitar line that I said they stole from somebody on track 7.
Is it really the same?
Yeah, it's the same. And I could say that I took the two parts of those songs because I was really like, I heard it and I was like, it sounds like the same thing. And I like cut those two parts and put them on top of each other. Same damn thing. Same thing.
Wait a minute.
I'm right here. I'm not going anywhere.
I am equally pissed off and my mind is blown. This shit is 100% on purpose. Think about the song titles. At the end of everything, hold on to anything. These two songs are meant to sound similar and borrow lyrics and borrow melodies. Son of a bitch, these guys, man. That is,
Okay.
that is genius, and I'm angry.
Yeah, I'm a little miffed at myself for not putting that together. And I hate that you, who's not good at math or geography, as we've already established, had to point that out to me. And
This involved neither, so I was able to pull it off.
Well, it's track 7 and 10, so it involved numbers. Okay,
7
so
minus 10, negative.
All right.
Shit.
Because that is it's a genius move on their part. When I heard that, I was like, nope, both of those songs are getting points taken off. Nope, I'm going to go and add points back just
I
because
think we have to.
Yep. Hang on.
He's doing the math in real time, folks.
Yeah. So because of that move, yes, I do not like that the line was stolen from whatever song that is, and I'm going to find it. Young Medicine, you bastards.
That's
It's a
pretty
good
good,
move.
guys.
Yeah, it's a good move.
I might have to raise my score just a smidge because you almost pulled a fast one on me.
Yeah, and I think the fact that you put track 7 and track 10, like the two songs that work together so far away from each other, is why I didn't catch it.
It's
Damn it.
just far apart to like almost forget. That's why we didn't catch it the first couple times. And it wasn't until just now talking it out that we put it together.
Yeah, and yeah. Anyway, let's move on before I get too mad. All right, track 11, A Lesson in Futility.
It's all you've got. We're all struggling. Are we all just noise?
You have some old disease about anger?
Not really about anger, but I think we are both familiar with the bubonic plague
That was spread
transmitted
by
by
rats?
rats. And yeah, but do you know what another name for it was?
What? Black Death?
The Black Death. Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
that was this isn't necessarily a very metal band, but Black Death. If there's not a band called Black Death, there probably I'm sure there is. Yeah.
Yeah, and one of the symptoms is you would actually get a almost like a black potato in your armpit.
We had
I don't know why I know that.
we had a catered lunch the other day at the office, and they had
Speaking of black potatoes,
they did a potato bar, and my first thought was that doesn't sound very appealing, and then when I
and it's
saw
wonderful.
it was awesome. Oh man, and so they had like the normal stuff you'd have for a baked potato, but then they also had a bunch of grilled chicken to throw in there. Oh my god, it was so good. Okay, sorry.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, potato bars are awesome. I kind of just, whenever the lady and I get married, potato bar.
Hey, that's not a bad move. But okay, enough about the bubonic plague and potato bars. Let's talk about the song.
Our wedding's going to be charcuterie boards and potato bars, which charcuterie boards are just basically adult Lunchables. So,
Agreed.
Yeah.
And who doesn't like
All right.
that?
I give me some Sunny D with my charcuterie board. Okay.
Let's see. We got purple stuff. Ooh, Sunny D.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you these last two songs of this album, bangers. I like them both a lot, like a whole lot, like way more than I probably should. Young Medicine, you tricked me on 7 and 10, and you brought me back in on 11 and 12. And I know that this has a lot more in common with my metalcore symphonic production of things, and I don't care. 33 seconds, we get 80s dive bombs.
This one does some fun stuff. Like it's got sort of like these synthy, dancey verses, but then the chorus is a little bit more like rocked up, and they do this kind of like chuggy guitar stuff in between. And the main lead vocal on this song, again, I like his voice better, so this song kind of works for me. But did you watch the music video?
No, I meant to sit down and watch several music videos. Okay, I say no, but I did watch, I think 2 videos from this. I meant to just kind of sit down and just kind of watch them all together. I may have watched this one. I don't know. What happened in this one?
It's mostly just them like performing the song. And I can't tell if they're like, again, I hate to keep bringing up Electric Callboy, but I can't tell if they're taking themselves uber serious or if that's like supposed to be like part of the joke, sort of. You know what I mean? Like, because I know they made the joke on their social media page about being a such and such boy band. So I think they know, like, they've got the swoopy hair and some of the moves they do. And it's like, are you doing it ironically, or do you think this is super cool? Like, I don't know what it is. You know what I mean? But I will say, the blonde singer is wearing a really cool Dracula sweatshirt that I really, really love.
Okay, so the video from this album that stands out to me, and I don't remember what song it's for, and I wish I could. It's like they're playing on a rock in like a desert with a storm happening all around them, but they've got like the big teardrop that's on their cover glowing behind them, sort of.
Might be this one. I can't remember.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure it
now.
out.
So again, talking about sort of like the repetitive nature, you have 2 songs with saxophone, and you put them back to back. I don't love that. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you should have put those in kind of different areas.
No, but I'm going to agree with Bill Murray's saxophonist, Gabby Rose, with music needs more saxophone, because I love the saxophone of this. I actually really like the juxtaposition of the saxophone and heavy guitars, the distorted guitars. Like, I think it works really. I really enjoy that sound. So I didn't mind that the saxophone was on track 10 and 11. I think they should have put saxophone elsewhere in the album, in addition to here, but maybe they only got Evan Kappelman for a certain amount of time. They could only get out 2 songs with him.
So Winter Soldier is the music video you're talking about.
Okay.
This music video, I just kind of pulled it up. Like I said, these guys are obviously super young, and they're very talented for their age. But again, as a 40-year-old man who has seen a lot of bands and a lot of stuff, the way they're kind of like shimmying and swooping their hair and stuff, it's like, are they kind of like, is this supposed to be kind of silly, or is it very serious? Like, the drummer has this like mullet, and it's like, I don't
think you can have a mullet and not be silly. Like, I think everybody that has a mullet is aware that it's a mullet. And I mean, I feel like the mullet came around in the 80s when you had to present business, but you wanted to party a little bit.
But but the song is fine. One other thing that this might be one of those things where you just say, no, it doesn't, and you whatever, or it might ruin the song for you. So we'll see what happens. The line in the chorus where he says, "Don't interrupt me when I'm digging my grave." Every time I
missed
hear
that.
it, every time I hear it, it sounds like he says, "There's a dick in my grave," and I just it makes me laugh. And whenever
Maybe
I
it's
hear
somebody
him
named
say,
Richard in his grave. I don't know.
well, that's what I thought was like, you're getting old, your time has come, and you're ready to lay to rest, and you get to the cemetery, and you're like, who's this dick that took my grave spot? Like, this is supposed to be my resting place. Get
I
this
dug
corpse
this
out of
hole.
here. Yeah. I came out here for years digging this hole by myself. I want to die here. Get this guy out of here.
They said it'd be 6 feet deep, and it's 12 feet deep, and that's how much I wanted to be here. And who's
Yeah.
this guy? All right, 125. Every time I listen to this album, I thought, like, this point in this song, I thought this is a perfect like horror movie sound, perfect horror movie background music.
Very, and I mentioned this actually on a couple other songs, very John Carpenter specific.
Oh,
I
yeah.
hear that for sure.
Yeah, no, there's John Carpenter all throughout this album, and a lot of times it really works, and sometimes it doesn't. But I don't know. I've had a lot of fun on this album, aside from a few pieces in there. And I hate that I didn't have as much fun with 10 and 7 or 7 and 10 as I did. I kind of just held those against them, but now it's like maybe I shouldn't have the whole time. But anyway,
Yeah.
let's round this thing out and talk about track 12. Everything is perfect. Best song on the album, in my opinion. I don't know. Track 1 and track 12, I think, are just bangers. I don't know. I'm a big fan of this album in general, but you don't agree?
I don't think
You
it's the
say
best song on the album.
Okay.
I do. Okay. That voice.
The computer
Yeah.
child voice, the intro
I-
voice, that, and we hear it throughout the song as well. So.
Yeah.
Am I real? Will I bleed? Was it worth it? Hold me close, tell me everything is perfect.
I can't explain why I am the way I am. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. There's something about the way it ebbs and flows and the tone of the voice that is just like, it gives me the ick. It just sounds awful to me. And I don't know what that means. I can't explain it. I don't have words for how it makes me feel. It's just, am I real? Is it react? Like, stop. Every time it comes on, it's like nails on a chalkboard.
I don't know. I really like that. I thought it was a good thing because we haven't had a computerized voice in this entire
No.
album. It's very different.
So I have to like get past it. Once I get past it, there are things I like in the song. Like that opening riff was giving me almost like Killswitch Engage meets Issues. Like it's a little off kilter, but it's kind of like both flavors of metalcore.
Perfect.
So I kind of like that. And there's some other cool stuff that happens a little bit later. But yeah, it's like every time the song starts, I have to like push the throw up back down and then I can listen to the song.
I don't know. I like the computer child.
I have a weird aversion to it and I can't explain why. I just hate it.
That's fine. You can invert it all day. But then
Yeah.
I really enjoy the Genty Michael Jackson song that we got following it.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Genty Jackson.
Genty Jackson.
Genty Jackson was the part of the Jackson family that wasn't really well known.
He was in the
His
back.
career died along with Jermaine's. And
They're trying to play like, Can't Stop the Boogie or, whatever. And there's a guy in the back going, jung, 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 jung. They're like, you got to stop, dude. You're really messing up. He cannot do the robot while you're doing that. You have to stop.
it was the Jackson 6 until Genty got out. Until they kicked Genty out.
Damn it. Shut up.
It was too much distortion for the 70s, and just it wasn't going to work.
Jun, jun, jun. Shit. Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah. So now I want somebody to cover
That's my next band, Genty
ABC.
Jackson.
Genty Jackson. Yeah.
It's going to be
I,
all Michael Jackson, Jackson 5 stuff played on 8 strings. Weird tempos.
Everything's gonna be tuned super low, and yeah, there's gonna be a Jonathan Davis scat section in there, and for no reason. Oh,
I want to see you moonwalk in 6/8.
everything's in 4/4 if you count different.
Oh God.
Yeah. Okay.
Fantastic.
So I don't know. This song was just a lot of fun to me. I actually returned this song multiple times just on its own. It's got that scream singing that I've come to love all throughout it. I feel like this is the most updated 80s sound on this entire album. I feel like this was a standout for this album just because it's so different from everything else that was happening before it, and partially because it starts with the Computer Child.
It is the most, this album is a mix of like synthwave, metalcore, some other stuff. This is the most metalcore forward, and then the other things.
Maybe that's why I like it more.
For sure. I was going to say it makes total sense that you would gravitate to this one. And with that being said, because I felt like we were kind of in a slog there, I think this is one of the better songs on the album for sure. So I do really dig that they go out this way.
So this is I think probably the best closer for the album that they had amongst all these songs. I would not have picked moving this song anywhere else in the album. I would have probably moved some of the tracks around in that slog just to kind of make it less of a slog to get through. But
as much as I like the first 1, 2, 3 of the album, I think if you moved one of those into that 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 range and put one of those a little higher up, maybe that would help. But I don't know. That section feels like it goes on forever.
It does. It takes a little while to get through. And the thing about that section is I don't think there was any bad songs in that section, but it just nothing stuck out the way that the beginning and end of this album did to me. And also they shouldn't have put 7 and 10 so far away from each other.
Nah, I applaud them. They got us on that one. That was pretty good.
They did. I gave them points for that move. All right. And with that, Monster, let me ask you a question. What's new with you?
Hey, hey, good looking. What you got? Cooking.
Well, there's not a whole lot of new on this.
There's
album.
not.
So I just went with UFO Party. Because even though it is not new to any real degree, it at least has a lot of energy. It's probably the most upbeat song. Kinda. I don't know. There wasn't anything new for me to really gravitate towards. So I did the best I could there.
No, there's really not.
Danger was cooking.
I'm going to be honest, this is actually a fairly decent album to cook to. It kind of just moves, and this is part of where I'm saying even the songs that I don't like aren't bad songs because they just kind of fit within that, that environment and all. It gets quiet enough to where I can still hear what's going on, and it gets quiet enough to where I can still hear that the kids are not doing what they're supposed to. And but this is a situation where I'm going to pick one of my favorite songs off the album to put onto it, which is "Everything Is Perfect."
It's in the code, it's in my head. Broken flashback.
Just, God, that voice, man. I don't know, man. Just, ugh.
It doesn't bother me the same way it bothers you. It's kind of like the word moist.
Yeah, well, even the word moist, I think because the word moist is just basically 1.5 syllables, whereas this is a whole 2 sentences.
Yeah, so I think every time we say moist, we lose a listener.
They got to get strong. I
No,
did.
it's-
I used to not be able to say it.
No, and I'm proud of the progress that you have made. I feel like I'm going to be higher than you, especially since I just gave them points for their 7-10 trick.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you'll be higher. Not that I'm super low, but yeah, I'll go first.
I don't feel like you'll be crazy low. So yeah, anyway, give us your closing statement.
Cold Blooded by Young Medicine is a mix of dancey electronics, pop punk style vocals, and crunchy chuggy guitars. They even call themselves a synthwave metal boy band, kinda. That sure does sound like it's going to be a lot of fun, doesn't it? Well, it should be, but unfortunately, at least for me, it doesn't quite hit the mark. It does have some fun moments, but I feel like it gets old before the runtime is over. They have a tendency to repeat similar lyrics, use similar instrumentation and chord progressions, apparently on purpose, and we just were too stupid to figure it out, but nonetheless. So when you listen to it too many times in close succession, it can start to run together a little bit. I would call this an EP 30-minute band. For about 5 or 6 songs, opening for a couple of bigger bands, I think these guys kill it. But for 12 songs at almost 50 minutes, I just kind of get bored with it. 1 to 10, I said 5.66. Danger, why don't you bring us home with a score that is probably higher than that?
It is higher than that. Okay. Young Medicine has given us Cold-Blooded. The success is because Young Medicine take their smashing of synthwave and modern metal. Not really synth pop, synthwave. They show that they understand how to make the nostalgic 80s synths feel both melodic and atmospheric. The weaker tracks aren't bad, I just don't remember them as well. And I will not let the guitar and sax ripoff go. Or at least that's how I felt up until this conversation. They're not ripoffs, they complement each other, and I'm just an idiot. Young Medicine does a good job of giving us a 48-minute runtime of music that would fit great into into a movie set in the 80s Satanic Panic. Yes, there is a slog, and yes, it gets repetitive, but damn, this album is a lot of fun. I gave it a 7.24.
I think that sounds about right for us.
Yeah, I don't know, I was kind of looking at the other stuff around that 7.24, and I thought, I feel like this would fit in with those in my playlist of things. So anyway, Monster gave Young Medicine Cold-Blooded a 5.66, and I gave it a 7.24, which gives it an overall average of 6.45, putting it just above This Wild Life and just below Sim.
That's a little strange.
Sorry, put it into the 60th position, just above This Wild Life and just below Sim.
I mean, I feel like these guys are good enough that they could probably pull off something like, I could see This Wild Life opening for a band like this, and I could see Young Medicine opening for a band like Sim. So I feel like probably all three of them together doesn't make a lot of sense, but I think Young Medicine could pull off either way.
I don't know. I saw Broadside and the what is it? The Home Life, or what is it?
This Wild Life?
No, I saw Broadside, another band that we both really like, open for This Wild Life, and they're nothing like This Wild Life. So I feel like Young Medicine could operate as an opener for or the headliner of a tour with This Wild Life, and that would be fine. So I feel like actually as an opener, they'd probably work better because I agree with your statement of they are a 30-minute band. Yeah.
I really do think that that's the sweet spot. I think they're talented. They mix a lot of stuff. They're not bad songwriters by any means. There's just some spots that I feel like are a little overindulgent that they could clean up. And, because honestly, I think if this album clocked in at 39, 40 minutes, I don't think we would be complaining about the length of any of the songs, So I think that's part of that section that we keep calling a slog. Had they tightened up some of the songs, I think they would have flown by.
Probably. If you disagree with the score that we have given this album, then please shoot us an email at breakdownsbreakfast@gmail.com or head on over to one of our social media platforms, Facebook, X, or Instagram, and let us know what you thought about this episode, or if there's an album you'd like for us to give the Breakdowns treatment to in the future.
I don't really have a joke. I just have one more old-timey disease that we all know it. It became a meme. Dysentery. We all know what dysentery is. It's bloody poop. It happens on the Oregon Trail. Everybody knows it. But do you know what one of the terms they used to call it?
What?
Bloody flux. That's not a joke. That's just gross, and I wanted to share it.